Hello.
Do you want to walk around Lake Nokomis today?
Sure, let's do it. Arik Hanson. I am a independent social media consultant. I've been doing that for 15 years. I teach at University of St. Thomas. I've been doing that for, 4 years now. Boy, I mean, I was probably the first independent social media consultant in town, for sure.
Yeah.
If not one of the first in the country.
For sure.
I got lucky on timing because it was, everyone was kind of looking for help.
Yes,
It
was so new, yeah. Well, how has that been teaching the young people that I've kind of grown up with social now? It's kind of a different experience.
Totally. Teach kids that probably know more about the platforms than I do.
Yeah.
In some ways. But where they need obviously all the help is like, how do we apply these tools and theories and all that stuff to business?
Yeah.
Which they don't know anything about.
Exactly.
Right? So that you're right. That is kind of strange. Kind of fun to like brainstorm together with them in class. It's basically like the social media class that the comms majors have to take. So
Gotcha.
I covered this way too much ground. We cover everything from influencer marketing to employee advocacy to paid to content to I just cover way too much ground.
Yeah.
But it's the only class they have that touches it really.
That's crazy.
So we have to cover that. I work with some larger companies, but some mid-sized companies and some really small companies too. So that's a mix. The work is usually either content development, not surprisingly, coaching and training, or strategy and like audit development. For the challenge for small businesses, they think at least what I see is like they think they need to be on all the channels. And one of the biggest things I go in and do when I do the audits and get into the strategy piece of it is like we don't need to be on all the channels if we don't think our audiences are there. So usually it's like a case of whittling down the platform strategy and content development. I think they have to post a lot too. So it's like, I mean, these people only have they have one person if they're lucky. So it's like half a person.
Yeah, true.
Like, you don't have time to do all these channels. Like you got to pick and choose which ones you want to do.
Yeah, or you share the same content across multiple, which is kind of what I
or you could
do that. Yeah, I mean that is like for the people that don't have one person for each channel.
It's tough. A hard conversation I think for small businesses like you don't have the luxury to do all this stuff. You have to pick. Well, and maybe it's probably okay to say, you know what, we're just going to do one channel. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to invest all our time and effort into one.
Yeah.
And we'll do that really well. I don't know, 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
As a general kind of rule.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you got to at least try it for a while. But there's no reason to keep doing something if it's not working.
Yeah.
It's with social because
for sure
we have the metrics.
You can tell right away.
Numbers, we have the impression numbers. We have traffic numbers to sites. I mean, start working, stop doing it. Conversation is really paid versus organic versus dark.
Oh, can you kind of explain that to people that don't know?
Thinking about that. So the dark social being like texting, email, private Facebook groups, private Slack groups, all that stuff.
For sure.
There's no way to get at that, or there's very few ways to get at that from our ROI perspective. So companies don't do it.
Yeah.
But we know that that's how. I mean, that's primarily how a lot of people are sharing on social now.
It's true.
The volume too high. That's a huge one. I think like branded graphics versus like photography too is another big one. Like you see a lot of
too much Canva.
Graphics.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And those are never performing. They're hardly very, very infrequently outperforming the average in terms of engagement.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you use authentic photography, for example, on like LinkedIn, like that's always crushing. Threads, well, let's see, right? Like,
I know.
We've seen the data this week that talks about how the engagement already is slipping off. The biggest challenge I think they have is something the Instagram people said. It's like we wanted to build this app to create a community, like a conversation platform.
Yeah.
And when they said that, I thought, well, who is asking for a conversation platform? Twitter is not a conversation platform anymore. That's a news feed.
Yeah.
And that's why people like it. They like it as a news
feed.
So like you come along and you offer a conversation platform, like no one wants that right now.
What is some of the advice you give to people about just working in this industry?
Yeah, good question. I tell them to kind of do what you do. Like you have to be a creator in some way.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be a creator in the sense of like you want to be Logan
famous.
Paul or
Yeah.
It's more like
create stuff,
right? Exactly. Make stuff and try to break it. Everyone realizes that it's not really as important as we all think. So it's gone. So if you mess up, You can find me at arikhanson.com, spelled funny, ARIKHANSON.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn, just search up Arik. I do a podcast with my friend Kevin Hunt at CHS, Hanson and Hunt, so you can look that up.
Watching every single episode of Trails and Tales. We're super excited because next week I'm having an email marketing workshop all about how to make your email marketing profitable for your small business. So make sure to check this out here, and I'll see you guys at the workshop on Wednesday on Zoom.